Hi, welcome to CSS tutorials. Before everything, there is a little promise from me to you that after watching this playlist, you will know CSS good enough to make your own web page, maybe to make web pages for clients, and you will be able to ask CSS and HTML questions intelligently on social networks, forums, and websites like Stack Overflow and similar sites. What is the assumption? The assumption is that you have basic HTML knowledge. It's not important where you get it from my playlist. I do have playlist for basic HTML. The link will be into description below. Or you have read some book or someone else's tutorials online. Now, 15 or 20 HTML basic tags, it's really what is enough to get you started with CSS, because CSS, you see, is not C++. It's not that complicated. Some people will say, how can you promise such a thing that you will learn CSS good enough? Well, for a very simple reason. If I can do it, then you can do it. If I was able to learn CSS and HTML and C++ and PHP and JavaScript and many other weird terms, then you will also be able to do that. The difference between me and you is that I have just invested time in those things, and at the moment, because you're a beginner, you didn't. So the difference between us is just time difference. You don't need to be genius to understand these things. So another assumption is that, of course, we will use some kind of editor. You can use everything what you like. Notepad, Notepad++, Edit Plus, Ultra Edit, Atom, Sublime, whatever. It's up to you. The important thing is that you are feeling comfortable into that editor. It can be some small editor, old one. It's really not important. It's important that you don't think and you don't learn things inside of your editor, because editor needs to be something that you don't think about. So this is not that we are working to some kind of programming language, working environment. You just need a simple text editor. Of course, not a word processing thing, because it adds a lot of things in between. Just simple Notepad or Notepad++ and you will be fine. Don't worry. Another assumption that you will use, as I said, basic HTML. So see, on this page, the name of the page is index.html. You can name it as I did, but you can also choose another name. That's not important. On desktop, I have HTML folder, and of course that file is there. You can have any other folder setup as you wish. So this needs to be familiar to you. Please, by all means, don't continue with this playlist if you don't know HTML good enough. I mean, basic stuff, but you need to know this thing. You need to know what doc type is, HTML tag, the difference between head and body section. Please don't continue if you don't know these things. Use my HTML playlist or someone else's. It's not important. Now, in head section, we will not mess around with that too much, except linking CSS directly into head section. So we will not dwell on titles, keywords, description, other tags. No, meta tags, sorry. We will use it just for CSS. And in a body we will use minimum of tags and minimum of content, because I want to focus to be on CSS. So let's talk about how to enter CSS, how to link CSS from outside world into HTML. We will describe everything in the next tutorials, but just for the sake of getting some theory, there is 3 major ways to import CSS. CSS is just external textual file on somewhere on internet or on your website, and It's textual, it's not encrypted, there is no funny symbols in it, just pure English. So very simple stuff. It can be external file, and also it can be on the same page directly, on HTML page. So you have external file, inline CSS, and internal CSS. The difference between internal and inline CSS, they are both on HTML page directly, but internal CSS goes to head section, and inline CSS you will style with that specific tag inside body section. So inline goes to body and internal CSS go to head section. It is simple, don't worry. So almost 6-7 minutes. I don't want to waste your time anymore. Please just have a little patience. It is simple, okay? And I don't know how much tutorials will be, let's say 40, more or less, but as I promised, you will know CSS good enough to know where to go next. So thank you for watching, and in the next tutorial we will import in 3 ways CSS into our HTML page. Thank you for watching, and see you next tutorial. Am I recording actually? Yes, thank God.